Hi, it's Debbie and Stain, and we've been in the Algarve now for about 2 months, and we've had so much fun exploring different things as far as, beaches, the mountains.
We've gone fishing.
Yeah, we've did some wine blending even, went to a local winery and did some wine blending. And so we're always amazed by the things that we learn about what goes on here in the Algarve. And today we're going to actually explore a little bit of history about the sardine industry here.
Right, in the city of Portimao.
And we've learned that these baskets here are part of the history we're going to learn about the sardines. And we kind of have our idea, but if any of you know what these baskets were used for in this sardine industry, maybe leave us a comment down below.
Or take a guess, even if you don't know.
Yeah, because we're guessing right now. So we're going to go inside. They have a museum here all dedicated to the sardine industry in the Algarve. Let's go on in and check this out.
Portugal's famous for its cork trees, and they are obviously used for boating as well. Here you can see a machine that would carve these round pieces of cork that were then used as floaties, I guess, for the fishing nets used in this area.
Our suspicions about those baskets we showed you outside were true, our suspicions anyways, and the baskets were used for a quick, easy way to scoop the sardines out of the boats that came in from catching the sardines, so that it was a lighter weight to get it up the hill here. So they put it in these baskets and it came on this, what would you call it,
Conveyor.
Conveyor, thank you, honey, of sorts. Anyways, it would stop here first, and they would dump the baskets of the sardines you see here, and the women would start cutting the heads off and taking the guts out in this first step of the process. So interesting to see that. So how many of you got that right on the basket, that the basket was used to bring the sardines from the waterfront up to the factory? Pretty cool. You can see after the ladies have cut the heads off and gutted the fish, they go back in the basket, and he's dumping them here to start cleaning them. It's the first step in the cleaning process, and it's we just watched a video on all this, and it's quite intricate work, a lot of work by hand to make these canned sardines. It's very interesting.
This is a boiler. Steam was a huge part of this whole process, from running all of the tin manufacturing machines to the boiler itself that they use to cook the fish in. This has a thermometer, goes about 100 degrees Celsius and a little bit up, so about 220 Fahrenheit or so. But once the fish are cut by the women next door, they would go in here to be cooked before they move on to the next step. So this is a filling station. Once they've put the little fillets into the cans down here, these little spigots, these little spouts would release the olive oil from the big drum into the individual cans. Alright, so this part of the museum talks all about the printing of labels. As you can tell on this piece of metal, it had all the different pieces of labeling, I guess, that went onto cans. As well as the big ones, which I'm sure were used for posters and advertising of some kind. I was just reading that it brought in tons of artisans, people that would design all of this, and so it was sort of this auxiliary industry in addition to the actual sardine industry. Very interesting.
One of the things I find very interesting in this whole process is that even back in 1936, they started the ability for the mothers who worked in this factory to be able to bring their children to work. And they had a daycare there offered for them. And these women would bathe their babies for them, feed their babies, put them down for their naps. I just think for the day, that was really something really amazing.
The most interesting thing Debbie and I found from this whole experience at the museum here is that this was sort of an end-to-end operation. The fish would come in here, some of them still alive. They would get cleaned, cooked, canned, and back on the ship or on the train to go to be delivered to the customer. The freshness of the fish must have been tremendous, and it's kind of unheard of nowadays to see one place that has this end-to-end. They even made the cans here. They even produced the cans. It's crazy. Anyway, all of this has made us very interested and hungry and eager to try something in a can. So before we left, we talked to the lady at the front desk and she told us, so La Rose is the name of the cans that used to be produced in this building. She said they're by far the cheapest here, so we picked some up and we'll have to try it some other time. I am really excited. We went with the kind of assorted selection, which has some tuna ham is what they call it, sort of dried tuna. We had this the other day. It was really good. And it has some mackerel on there, has some cavala on there as well, which I'm trying to cheat now. Another kind of mackerel, so a couple different kinds. Who knew? And then some pate, of course.
These all came out of a can.
All these canned goods could be so yummy looking.
There's all types of canned fish here that you can try, and they also have anchovies, and I needed to try this. So this is little slices of anchovy with garlic and capers. And what's really fun is they give you this little tin. I'm gonna bring it over here, an old fish tin full of little crusty breads that you can try your fish on, or your anchovies, or your pates. And this is the greatest little place ever. I love it. For those of you who are like, ooh, anchovies, too salty, too strong, these anchovies are not that way. I probably should be talking with my mouth full.
This is a spicy tuna burger. Has some of their homemade special sauce, has some lettuce, tomato, and then the fish on it. So, let's see what it tastes like. It's really good. It's interesting because the bun is warm, the fish is cold. Usually it's the other way around. But it's really, really good. Hey, isn't that mine?
Decided I would steal half a Stain's burger. Oh my goodness, I'm not a big burger fan per se, but this, as he said, this warm sesame seeded bun with this spicy tuna on here is crazy good. I think I'm in love. I have a new favorite. Spicy tuna burgers. Excellent.
So what is in there?
Medronho.
Medronho. One of our favorites.
Yes. Medronho is like the firewater, the Everclear of Portugal. I have some history with Medronho.
We've had the Portuguese fig cake, which is a traditional dessert here in Portugal, but never set a fire with Medronho, their typical Portuguese liquor of choice. That puts a whole new level on fig cake. Wow, what a great day that was over there in Portimao, just across the river from Farraguda where we're staying. That was just full of great information and history about the sardine industry here in the Algarve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the museum was very informative. It was only €3 to get in, which was a bargain. We spent probably an hour and a half in there, and then to follow it up with some of the deliciousness that they used to make, it was great.
Yeah, what was it called? Maria do Mar?
Yeah, Maria of the Sea.
Maria of the Sea. You must go there in Portimao, especially after you go to the Sardine Museum. I mean, what a way to top off the day regarding the history of sardines here. And we're just so glad you joined us, and we hope you found this as interesting as we did, learning about the sardine industry here.
Yep, so if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, because the likes will help our videos get shared by YouTube with a broader audience. And of course, if you like to see more of this, then subscribe. Yeah,
go ahead and subscribe. Hit that button down below. We love taking you on our little explorations here in Portugal on the Algarve, so we hope to continue to see you join us, and thanks for joining us today.
All right, time for a glass of wine and the sunset.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.